Have you ever heard of a killer who believed his crimes would grant him supernatural powers? This isn't the plot of a horror movie. It's the chilling true story of Ahmad Suradji, an Indonesian sorcerer who became one of the most prolific serial killers in modern history. His case is a dark and complex tale of black magic, twisted beliefs, and a community gripped by fear. So, get ready, as we delve into the disturbing world of the man known as Dat. Our story begins in Indonesia, a nation rich in culture and tradition, but also a place where ancient beliefs in mysticism and shamanism still hold significant sway. In this world, figures known as dukuns, or witch doctors, are often sought out for everything from healing sicknesses to finding love or achieving success. They are respected, sometimes feared, and their services are a part of life for many. It was within this cultural context that Ahmad Suradji operated. Born in 1949 in Medan, North Sumatra, Suradji came from a humble background. He worked as a cattle herder, a seemingly ordinary man living an ordinary life. But beneath this unremarkable exterior, Suradji was cultivating a very different persona. He began to present himself as a powerful dukun, a sorcerer with special abilities. He claimed he could help people with their problems, especially women seeking help with their romantic lives, careers, or financial troubles. Women from his village and surrounding areas started flocking to his home, desperate for solutions that modern life couldn't provide. They saw him as a source of hope, a spiritual guide who could bend fate in their favor. Suradji would welcome them, listen to their problems, and promise them a powerful ritual that would solve everything. The price for this magical intervention, it varied, but it often involved a significant payment, sometimes the woman's entire savings. But the true cost was far, far higher. Suradji's ritual was always the same, a sinister and meticulously planned trap. He would lead the unsuspecting woman to a sugarcane field near his home, often under the guise of performing a late-night ceremony for maximum potency. There, he would instruct her to be buried in the ground up to her waist as part of the spiritual cleansing process. He claimed this would enhance the ritual's power. Trusting their shaman, the women would comply. Once they were helpless, trapped in the earth, Suradji's true intentions were revealed. He would strangle them to death with a piece of cable. But his gruesome ritual didn't end there. In a truly macabre act, he would then drink their saliva. He believed that the saliva of his victims contained a spiritual essence, and that by consuming it, he would absorb their power and become invincible. After the murder, he would strip the bodies of their clothes and any valuables they had, and then rebury them. But this time, completely to complete his dark ritual, he made sure to point their heads towards his house. He believed this final act would channel their spirit's energy directly to him, further amplifying his supernatural abilities. For years, he carried out these horrific acts in secret. Women would visit him and then simply vanish. Families reported them missing, but with little evidence. Investigations went cold. The disappearances became whispers, local rumors of people who had just left town or run away. No one suspected the friendly neighborhood dukkan. For over a decade, from 1986 to 1997, Ahmad Suradji continued his killing spree undetected. The sugarcane field near his home became a clandestine graveyard. The exact number of his victims is staggering. He was a predator hiding in plain sight, exploiting the trust and desperation of his victims. So, how was he finally caught? The chain of events that led to his downfall began on a seemingly ordinary day in April 1997. A man was plowing the sugarcane field when his plow hit something hard. Curious, he began to dig and made a horrifying discovery, a decomposing human body. The police were immediately called to the scene. The victim was identified as a 21-year-old woman named Sri Kamaladewi. Her family told the police that she had last been seen visiting a local dukun for help. The last person she had an appointment with was Ahmad Suradji. This crucial piece of information put Suradji squarely on the police's radar. When they searched his home, they found incriminating evidence, clothing, and personal belongings, including watches and jewelry, that belonged to the missing women. Faced with this evidence, Suradji's facade began to crumble. He initially denied everything, but the pressure mounted. The police, now highly suspicious, decided to excavate the sugarcane field near his house. What they unearthed was a scene of unimaginable horror. Body after body was discovered, buried in shallow graves, all in various states of decomposition. The sheer scale of the graveyard was shocking. One body led to another, then another. The field was a mass grave. As the number of bodies climbed, Suradji finally confessed, and his confession was even more chilling than anyone could have imagined. He calmly admitted to killing 42 women and girls over an 11-year period. He detailed his ritual, explaining his twisted belief system without a hint of remorse. Suradji told investigators that his reign of terror was inspired by a dream. He claimed that his deceased father's ghost had visited him and given him a dark prophecy. In the dream, his father told him he needed to kill 70 women and drink their saliva to become a dukun Shakti, an invincible mystic with supreme powers. He was on a quest, a dark spiritual journey, and each murder was just another step toward his goal. He had killed 42. He was still 28 short of his target. The news of the sugarcane field slaughter sent shockwaves across Indonesia and the world. The man who was supposed to be a healer was, in fact, a monster. The community that had once respected him was now paralyzed with fear and disbelief. The trial of Ahmad Suradji and his 3 wives, who were accused of being accomplices and helping him hide the crimes, became a national spectacle. During the trial, Suradji showed no remorse for his actions. He held fast to his belief that he was on a spiritual mission. He was found guilty of the murders of 42 women and was sentenced to death. His wives were also convicted for their roles in the crimes. On July 10, 2008, after spending about a decade on death row, Ahmad Suradji was executed by a firing squad. His death marked the end of one of the darkest chapters in Indonesia's criminal history. The case of Ahmad Suradji raises many disturbing questions. How could a man commit such heinous acts for over a decade without being caught? Part of the answer lies in the cultural context. His victims were often from marginalized backgrounds, and their disappearances were not always given the attention they deserved. Furthermore, the immense trust placed in figures like dukuns created a veil of secrecy that Suradji expertly exploited. His case serves as a terrifying reminder of how belief systems can be twisted to justify pure evil. It's a story about the abuse of trust, the vulnerability of the desperate, and the monster that can lurk behind a friendly face. The sugarcane field has long since been cleared, but the memory of what happened there, and the 42 innocent lives that were tragically cut short, remains a chilling warning. It's a stark lesson that the most dangerous monsters are often the ones that pretend to be our saviors. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as unsettling and fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the darkest corners of human history. Let me know in the comments what you think about this case. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.